Expanding to more theaters this week is the British drama All of Us Strangers, and here's my review. Cinema has long been used to generate empathy for characters who might be different than us and have faced other situations we might not necessarily relate to, but still understand. All of Us Strangers seeks to explore that through its lead protagonist, Adam, and the relationship he has with a neighbor and his parents. There are some lovely moments in the film, but the structure of the story does feel a tad meandering and repetitive at times, and that can keep one at a certain distance. The biggest strength of the movie comes from the lead performance by Andrew Scott. He is required to pull off so many emotions as Adam and does a superb job with many of them. He is someone who has dealt with so much heartbreak throughout his life, and Scott conveys many of them through his facial expressions. His parents, oh so well played by Jamie Bell and Claire Foy. The film shows their differing reactions to his coming out and how they process this information. At some point it becomes clear what his parents represent, and it's an interesting idea, although this is what also leads to the film's more surreal elements. At a certain point, one does begin to recognize the formula in the film's story structure. The movie alternates being Adam talking to and forming a bond with his neighbor Harry and visiting his parents. This happens back and forth throughout the film's runtime, and that creates a certain repetition. While likely intentional on director Andrew Hayes' part, it does result in the story meandering in parts and only slightly and slowly develops Adam over the course of the narrative. Meanwhile, there are sections where All of Us Strangers is trying really hard to be symbolic with surreal images and other artistic flourishes, and these distract rather than add to the story and characters. The film is at its best when letting the actors dig into the emotions of the characters, and Hay gives them the freedom to do that rather than cutting away. Andrew Scott and Paul Mescal do share some nice scenes together, along with the conversational moments with Adam's parents. The film and actors do a decent job of showing the generational differences in those scenes with his parents. However, there are too many scenes that meander a bit, and we're just waiting for the inevitable conclusion. All of Us Strangers does have things to admire, especially when it seeks to be more naturalistic in its presentation. The actors especially deserve a lot of credit for their performances and imbuing their characters with the complicated emotions they're feeling. This is the kind of script that gives actors a lot to work with, and they sell it, especially Andrew Scott. It's more so the structure of the film that hurts it somewhat, as it jumps back and forth between these two stories, and the film drags at certain points. The film will absolutely resonate with many, but that will depend on if one can get past the repetitive nature of the storytelling and the more artistic directing choices.